here, where if I start to apply pressure, he might pull the knee through. In this case, I need to use my bottom leg to do this. Okay, you'll see that in action now. So even though I don't have his knee line, his knee's actually free, I can start turning. Right, he's trying to turn his knee out now. Okay, he's trying to turn his knee out. My legs are pinching. And then while I'm applying that pressure, I start walking my feet. That's where I was talking about driving pressure to tilt him on his other hip. You can see that limits how much he can actually open his knee out. The more I tilt him this way, the less his knee can turn this way. So with the arm, we're going to go nice and deep around the leg and curl back. Or I'll show a V grip in a moment. With the legs, ideally, we have our thigh past the knee line. If it's a little bit shallower, we're going to capture the ankle, walk out. This one's got to be back, left one's back, right one's a bit higher, and they're putting opposing pressures. They're not pinched. This is not good. He can push that and free. My left foot here has to be back. Okay, pushing into his, I'll say ankle, but anywhere lower down, so I can create that counter pressure on the knee. So we can also stop their knee coming to the chest with our own chest. So it can be my arm, it can be my legs blocking it. If I can just get my chest in and lean here, even without my legs or arms being in contact, the fact that my chest's over the top and I'm tilting him this way, he goes to pull his knee to his chest or even pull it out, and it should be somewhat blocked. So the other grip that can stop the knee from freeing or keeping his knee pulled away is this, just basically punching my arm straight here and getting my shoulder in position. So look at my leg's I'm not even capturing his knee line with my leg. And if I ask Aaron to pull his knee to his chest, it's very stuck. Okay. So once this arm's fully straight, punched between my own legs like this, right, and my shoulder's in, he's gonna have a very difficult time stopping me climbing up to the next step, working from here. All right, so I just want to talk about my shoulder position. So the shoulder should pretty much sit in their lower stomach, okay? I'm not too high here. Here I'm very out of position. He's just going to move my head. It's like a big lever that can be pushed around. So my shoulder should be low, okay? One thing that when I first started doing it, especially in the gi, I would hold on to the pants, and I used to almost try to squash the shoulder in, like I'm pulling. This does put a lot of pressure on the stomach, but I actually don't know if that's the best. I don't think that's actually the best use of it. I don't want him to be able to lift his hip. Someone who's good at inverting and rolling back is actually going to cause you issues there. Think about keeping my shoulders there, but my chest tries to keep his hips flat a bit more. Okay, so I'm talking about my arms doing this. It's like I'm trying to with my arms roll him a little more this way. I don't want to lean too far this way because I can of course be pushed off, or he can get to my legs and grab my legs if I do that. So I want some pressure that way though. Generally there's a drive across body here, and your shoulder should be nice and low. Should be hard for them to frame underneath, but don't focus so much on lifting the hips here like this. Better to keep your head hidden, shoulder pressure like this. All right, so just want to talk about my right arm a bit more. So we talked about it already. Obviously I can hold the end of the pants. That's one option in the gi. I can be wrapped very tight around the leg. At this point, if it's very tight like this, it should be very hard for him to get something like a kimura or I can see it's hard to actually connect his hands together for the kimura because I've left very little gap for that. Okay. Obviously if there's a bit of a gap, big problems start to occur. All right. Same for the choi bar as well. So you want this very tight. If there's a slight gap here, I'm going to get caught. This needs to be locked in. Okay. Now so obviously my arm's first roll is beat this knee line and don't get submitted. Okay. Anytime he starts to free his knee line, he might push my head and go here, then I need to be thinking about swimming back to come back. This will be more covered in the bicep ride series, where basically once their knee's free, we're going to call this bicep ride. So later we're going to cover that particular detail. But I want to talk about just progressing the arm. Once I know my leg's caught his leg and he's starting to turn, particularly when he turns his hips, If available, I will absolutely upgrade to a near side underhook. I will not do it whilst he's still sort of flat, because look, this is open. I can't underhook and keep this all tight. So he can scoop, even just scoop under, he can start causing issues with that arm. But if I'm managing to turn Aaron, and he starts pushing my head, for example, I can climb. This is good for me. I'm now getting upper body control, and I've left no gaps. He tries to swim back underneath this arm. You should find that very difficult to pummel through. And then when I pass, it's going to be a lot easier to get upper body control. So look for any time they stop blocking your access with that arm, climb it up only if the hips are turned. All right, so talk a little bit more about the role of my left arm now, okay? So I talked about first just holding the, cupping just above the thigh, like holding here in the gi. This can be a grip on the belt or the pant string here. Now, this is often good. So one thing which I haven't even talked about yet, but they might look for a butterfly hook. This would actually really disrupt me. If he lifts that up now, I can go over. Right. So one, I want to have my foot close, but I actually want to be pulling my elbow towards my knee. Okay. So I feel like it's doing two things. One, it's blocking immediate access to my knee if he tries to hook. Okay. And I almost feel like I'm lifting up into his calf, so he can't curl his heel to his butt, right? So I'm just going to show you. If I go deeper with this arm, he can go deeper with his hook. The more I take my elbow through, the more likely the hook is a problem. It goes for that same hook again, but I'm doing this, and you'll feel that that's blocked, okay? So often, as I'm entering, I'm here, and you need to not be too, I don't want to step too wide with this either. He's still going to be able to get it. My knee should stay somewhat either close to his butt where it's hard to hook, okay, or stretching out near the leg where he's not going to be able to hook either. One other thing, so apart from just holding this, I said probably the major thing that you want to watch out for, they want to move your head to the other side, okay. This is going to be a lot more powerful if he hip escapes, okay. He steps on the mat and moves my head. His whole body does that. If he keeps his leg up and he tries to move my head, go for it. It can work for sure. That can definitely work, and it sucked defending that. But it's not as powerful. If I do the exact same defense and this time he hip escapes, I've already lost my control. His hips moved out. I lost his hip. So a lot of the time, this hand, when I sense he wants to hip escape, I post out very wide and high. Okay, so when he tries to step on the mat, very difficult to do. Okay. So it makes it hard for his leg to actually touch the mat and do a proper hip escape. So try and scoop my head now. In the meantime, I'm going to be walking his hips and then looking to pass. Another thing with this left arm, occasionally we're actually going to come inside and block the bicep here like this. Okay? Or this could even be a grip in the gi, a grip on the arm. This is good because I know Aaron's going to want to push my head, and he's going to have some difficulty doing that compared to here where he can recenter. So often when we get the chance with this arm, we know they're going to reach towards our head. We're coming inside blocking as we turn the hips. So let's look at the different pathways from the over-under position now, just as a sequence, okay? So first one is going over-under into smash pass. Usually that's when I get my entry, okay? I start walking I start beating the knee line, right? And then at this point, as I start to stretch the leg out, this is a very common mistake. Probably one of the most common mistakes when people first do the over-under is people try to kick out too early. Okay, if I try to kick out of his legs here, look, this is what I'm thinking. I'm here, I'm kind of on this angle out this side. If I just walk this way, kick out, I can be past the guard. But actually, when you go that way, you're quite likely to get rolled. If Aaron starts trying to do a back roll as I go to kick out, I end up falling over. Okay. Or even he just starts pushing my head out to the front as I go as I take my weight this way. Okay, so what we want to do is be walking the leg, constantly walking the leg this way. Okay. The smash pass will come about if, as I'm walking his leg, he's trying to pull his knees to his chest a lot, right? And I can let go and work my knee all the way across in between his legs, here like this. So this will often, for example, be when you've got just your chest entered over the top, and he's trying to like pull me in. So as I start moving to the side, at some point, I'm going to feel like I can't kick out because his leg's high. I'm better off letting go, blocking his knee, and folding my knee in front of his leg here. Okay. So my aim is to get my right knee landing just in front of his knee here. Okay. As I do that, I'm also going to be looking to be circling and picking up this elbow so I land in a smash pass. Okay. Key thing, make sure your knee doesn't come too far forward. Now he can go saddle and he can go for a leg lock. I want to make sure my knee is below the line of his hips, like this. Okay. Not here, but here. When you're doing this, you do have to block this leg, okay, because I want to make sure I fold his top leg past his bottom leg. Okay. If he keeps this high and I try to smash pass, it's hard. He can kind of fight that. He can use this leg as base, and it's hard to fully get it. In this instance, I want to block this leg and make sure my knee passes that knee line. Circle to control the elbow, and we can look to pass from there.